Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. It's a beautiful spring day today. Finally starting to feel like spring, thank goodness. Let's hope it stays this way all the way through into like the full force of spring. I want to talk a little bit today about the first reading that we heard at Sunday Mass this past week. So it was the reading about Moses in the burning bush. And how he has this great encounter with God and this mystical experience of the bush not consumed by fire. And he has this conversation with God, and God sends him on this mission to free the Israelites from the Egyptian captors. I think a lot of times because we know the story so well, we kind of gloss over it and don't think too much about it. But I think it has something to be said for this Lenten season that we're in. We're just about halfway through Lent. We have just under a month left till Easter. Oh my gosh, it's coming so fast. But a lot of times, especially even in Lent too, but like especially in everyday life, even out of Lent, I think even more so this applies. We sometimes forget to acknowledge God in our day-to-day life, where we don't see him as much as he actually is there. So in that reading, the reading of the burning bush, this is kind of like a crazy mystical experience. Again, kind of like what we were talking about with the transfiguration with Moses this time, though. So that was like a very clear, like, this is God, I can recognize him, but it's what God says. When Moses asks who he should say sent him, what his name was, God says, I am who am. Now, when I was younger, I always kind of thought, I didn't really think about what that meant. I just thought that's like a grammatically incorrect sentence. Like, what does that mean? My kids, when I was teaching, a lot of times would say, why isn't I am who I am? That doesn't make any sense. Grammatically, it sounds weird to us, but what he's basically saying, God is saying, is that he is being itself. So when you say, I am Elizabeth, that's who I am. That's who I am as a being. My existence is that I'm Elizabeth, or I am doing something. It's something that you're just existing in a certain state. So when God says I am who I am, not I am who I am, just I am who am, he's saying I'm being itself, I'm life itself. So what does that mean for us? It means that God is around us and in our day-to-day life much more often than maybe we tend to recognize him. He's in all the different people that we meet. He's in the beautiful flowers coming up out of the ground now that it's springtime. He's in the snow, in the rain, in the sunshine. And he's in each person that you come into contact with every day. He's not only in the church building. He's not just in the Eucharist. He's not just in the tabernacle. Sure, he's in those places maybe in a little bit more of a like concentrated way that we can really like experience God a little bit better in those settings because that's what we're used to. But God is everywhere, and we tend to forget about that sometimes. We tend to forget about the sanctity of nature and of the world and of the people around us. So my challenge is for you to have a little bit more of a Moses moment. Take off your shoes. This is holy ground, right? That's what God says to Moses. Have a little bit more of that in your life this week. And as we go forward towards Easter, recognizing God in all the beings around you, the people, the plants, the weather, every instance in your life, God is present there. He's always there somewhere. You just have to learn how to recognize him. So let's make an effort this week to be a little bit more focused on where we're seeing God in our day-to-day life, in the humdrum, in the monotony of our daily life, and recognize the holiness of God in that, and have this kind of moment where we take off our shoes because we're on holy ground. Have a little bit more of an understanding that God is there through the good, through the bad, through the exciting, through the monotonous. He's there for everything. And let's try to recognize that a little bit more this week. Hope you have a beautiful week. We'll see you again next week for the next Wisdom Wednesday. God bless.